here we zeicha to be able together with another night of in-depth study of Torah, questions and answers, and big schus for us to have this opportunity to get together and talk about words of Torah. Hashem gets great pleasure, so to speak, of seeing Jewish people learning Torah, especially at nighttime. There's a lot of other things to do, where places to go, and entertainment, and family, and so on. And people take time off to study Torah, and ask questions, and hear answers. That Hashem is a great pleasure for him, so to speak. And a pleasure for us to get involved with words of Torah. And tonight, the name of our topic is how we should handle ourselves when we are in Golus, in the exile, out of our holy land. How do we handle ourselves in that situation, which is very frequent, very lengthy times that we're not in our holy land, in the land of Israel. Now it's some 2,000 years since the last time the second holy temple was destroyed. So we have to know how to conduct ourselves. Well, the reason I chose this topic this week is because we started a new sefer, a new book of Torah. There are 5 books. We finished number 1 since Simchas Torah, and now we're starting the new book, second one, Exodus, Shmos. And Shmos starts off with the picking up from where Bereshis left off. Bereshis left off where Yaakov Avinu went down to Mitzrayim, because Yosef, he found out was in Mitzrayim after Yosef was missing for all those 22 years, and now he found out it was in Mitzrayim and went down to be with him. Yosef invited him down to come with the whole family, and they're all in Mitzrayim now for a good amount of years that they stayed there until the Exodus. They went out of Mitzrayim, and of course we know all the things that transpired during that time, that they enslaved them, the Jews found out finally. That's all Pesach, Mitzrayim. And the words starting off the new book of Exodus, of Shmos, that deserves attention, and it is a great source of information for us to know how we're supposed to act in Golus. Maybe the words seem very insignificant, but first we have to notice the change and the peculiar way the Torah presents itself, and answer why the Torah writes it that way, and then take it as a lesson to us how we're supposed to conduct ourselves when we're in Golus, out of a holy land, exiled into wherever the Jews are, all corners of the earth, wherever you go to, there's all Jews all over. Every continent, almost every city, there are Jews everywhere. And of course, we always pray to Hashem, gather us together from the 4 corners of the earth into our holy land that we belong. So let's take a look at those words that I'm talking about. So the words, first sentence, Israel. These are the names of the Jewish people, Aboy Mitzrayim. They're coming to Egypt. It says, Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel. We know Yaakov Avinu, the third of the patriarchs. So Yaakov, he had 2 names, Yaakov and Yisrael. Here we say Bnei Yisrael. It starts up the children of Yisrael. We say in English, Israel. Haboim, that are coming to Egypt. The present tense. Haboim Mitzrayim. Eis Yaakov. And then it says, with Yaakov, it says, changes his name from Yisrael to Yaakov. Jacob. His name was Israel in English, Israel and Jacob, Yisrael and Yaakov. Ish ubeisa bo'u. Each man with his household, they came in the past tense. So we have a very big change in the next sentence. First we call him Yisrael, then we call him Yaakov. First we say, Boim, the present, they're coming to Mitzrayim, and then it says they came to Mitzrayim, the past tense. Ish u'beisai, a man with his household, came to Mitzrayim. Oh. So from here, the Torah is telling us a very great lesson for we who are in Golus, how we're handling the Golus, how we handle being out of our holy land. There was two types of people coming into Mitzrayim. And the two types of people when they left Mitzrayim years later. And there's no coincidence of the two that came, the two types that left. Two types that were coming in. Haborim, that are coming in the present tense. Because there are two ways people handle going into Golus, the Jewish people going into a foreign country. Hashem makes it happen that they're not in our land, in the strange land. Some people blend into the society and they become part of the country that they're living in. That they, little by little, first generation, second generation, the third generation, little by little, they blend into the society that they're living in. And their Judaism becomes dimmer and dimmer, less and less as time goes on, because they are being part of the society that they live in, and they adapt their ways of thinking, the ways of living, and Torah values become less because they're being affected by the society that they live in. And that's unfortunately some ways that some people become when they come into Golus away from the Holy Land. Then you have the other group of people who stand strong for Judaism, even though in a foreign country, and all around them is non-Jewish ideas and non-Jewish feelings for what's right, non-Jewish ideas for what success is, but they stand strong, and they hold on to the Jewish culture, laws, and way of thinking. And they don't blend into the society. And they're just praying all the time. They want to go back to the original Holy Land of Israel that we belonged, where Hashem gave us a great present. Of course, we were chased out because of the sins that the Jews did, but we're looking forward to going back again. So we have those two types of people, the people that are being swallowed up by their environment, by the people they live in with, and the types that are strong in the Yiddishkeit. They keep the laws of the Torah. They eat kosher, even all around them. They have a non-kosher restaurants and people. They keep Shabbos even all around them. But their whole society is foreign to Torah laws. So now we understand. These are the Bnei Yisrael that are coming in the present tense. Those people are always, they're not there, they're not settled. They're coming. As if they're a person new in a place. He just came, person just came, so he doesn't get infected so quickly by the environment that he's in. He just came. He holds on to what he was used to till now. As time goes on, that's when many people start losing their identity of Jewish people, of the Jewish person. They're coming. They're always in the act of coming. They didn't come yet, as if they didn't get into the environment and all the ideas of the new environment that they're in, as if they're just coming. It could be there for 10 years, 20 years. They're still coming. They didn't come yet. They're not there. They're not settled yet. That's Aboim. Bnei Yisrael. The two names of Yaakov Avinu had name Yisrael and then Yaakov. What's the difference between the two names? Well, one difference is that we're talking about now, Israel is the name of Sarisa, of fighting and being victorious and standing up against the evil that they're faced with. That's Israel, Sarisa, that you became over and conquered the evil that came towards you, and you were able to stand up to it. That's the name of Yisrael. That you take a head on, and you're not afraid, and you don't surrender. Yaakov is the name of Yaakov. There's a lot to talk about, including the Yaakov, but one thing is that the name that Yaakov didn't stand up against and fighting. We'll refer back to when Yaakov was being attacked by, he was facing Esav, and he did different things to overcome Esav. We read about that a few weeks ago, when Esav came towards him with 400 men ready to fight, and Yaakov took two different approaches how to take on Esav. One was approach to give him a lot of presents and not to fight him, and try to give him the sheikhad, and try to smother him with the presents and good things that Esav should forgive him for what he did, taking the blessings away from him. And then also the other approach was to ready to fight him if worse comes to worse. Well, instead of giving him all nice things and good things and make him feel good, we'll fight him and fight him. So those were two approaches that Yaakov took. With name Yaakov, that's the approach to take, the soft approach, the way to get around it and not face head on with the collision, with fighting, but to try to get around it, give him a lot of presents and give him a smile to him and be nice to him, and therefore he'll give in and not want to attack. That's the of Yaakov. Yisrael is the other approach of fighting, standing strong and taking on the enemy face on. And there's the same way, the two holidays of Chanukah and Purim, those both of them two different approaches. Chanukah was approached, they fought. Chashmonaim fought face to face and lost people, and the fighting were killed, but they were triumphant at the end. The Purim they didn't fight. They took the soft approach as to going to the king and speaking to him, and they later on, for self-defense, they fought against the enemies, tried to kill them, but that wasn't the way. So we have these two different approaches, and Yaakov stands for the soft approach. And the Jews coming into Egypt, those are Asher Bo, but they came already, they were settled, they weren't fighting against the Egyptian culture. And therefore, little by little, they were swallowed up, and they took upon themselves and got mixed into the Egyptian culture, and some of them didn't leave Egypt later on. Many of them got so involved that they weren't even taken out. They didn't want to leave Egypt. They wanted to stay. They were so involved, and they got swallowed up by the Jewish ideas and philosophy that they became like Egyptians themselves. So that's Bo. That's the past tense. They came already. Those are the ones who were there already for a long time, and they're not still coming. They came already, and they're used to it already, and they adapted the culture around them. That's Shebo, yeah. And that's what says Yaakov. Then became Yaakov. That's not standing up, not fighting, and that was that group of people. So now we understand. These are the names of the Bnei Yisrael, children of Bnei Yisrael, the group that stood up against the Egyptian culture, philosophy, ideas, actions, and they stayed Jewish, and they stood up to the influence that surrounds them. So they were called them Bnei Yisrael. Our brother coming. They're still always coming. They're there for many years. They're still coming. In other words, they're still fresh. They're still with the Jewish ideas, Jewish identity. And therefore we call them Habroim. Bnei Yisrael Habroim Mitzrayim. There's Ishu Beisa, a person with his household. We say, Eis Yaakov, the ones that have the name Yaakov, the one who took soft approach, did not stand up and fight against the Egyptian ideas and culture. Yishuv both they came already with the whole household. The whole household became them, and the children influenced, and they were swallowed up by the culture of Egypt, and which was a great culture at that time. They call it great culture of the time, about the outstanding country of the world at that time. And these were the two groups that came to Mitzrayim, to Egypt. And therefore, when they left, the ones who stood strong and the ones who were fighting against the Egyptian culture and identities, they were ones who were redeemed and went out of Egypt. The ones who were Yaakov, the ones who took the soft approach and got affected and influenced by the Egyptian culture, they did not leave Mitzrayim. They were showing, they became showing at the end, and they didn't want to leave, a lot of them, or the word didn't merit to leave. So there's the 2 and 2. So this, my good friends, this is what we have to think about. Just the first 2 psukim, the new book, the second book, Exodus, is telling us, Jewish people, we are living in the countries all over the world that are not the holy countries of the land of Israel. We're in Golus. Even in the people in Israel today, they're the type of Golus, because we don't have the holy temple, don't have the great rabbis of the Sanhedrin, or the rabbis who would make decisions on Torah questions, the great holiness of the land of Israel that we want to have, what used to be. That's not today. We don't have it. Even there is a certain amount of holiness, but not the way it's supposed to be. Even those people in Israel are surrounded by different foreign ideas to Torah. Some of them from the non-Jews, and even some of the Jewish people also have foreign ideas and non-real Torah ideas about the world, about Judaism. So they're also in that type of golus. It's not golus. They're not and exile in the land they're living in, but exile in the government that they have, which is a secular government, and all types of ideas that are foreign to Torah. And we have to realize that we want to be from Asher Boim that are coming. We should not get complacent and comfortable with the place we're living with, and accept their ideas and be influenced by ideas, the anti-Torah ideas. So many foreign ideas that are creeping up all over around us from people that are not Jewish, even some people, Jewish people also, who never studied Torah, don't know the beauty of Torah, and we're bombarded daily from every place where we look, our signs, where we hear different things on the media and different programs that are radio programs or TV programs or online whatever. We're bothered from all sides of foreign ideas and anti-Torah ideas, and we have to be boim. We don't want to be part of the culture that we live in. We have our own culture. We have the real culture, the true culture, the true laws of Hashem gave to the Jewish people. And the Torah is telling us over here, you people, Jewish people, Hashem says, my people, my children, look at these psukim of the Torah and take a lesson for yourself. You be from the people of Bnei Yisrael, the ones that stood straight, stood strong, and fight against the culture around you, not physically, but fight spiritually, mentally, emotionally, fight against the environment that you're living in. Boy, just feel like you're just there temporarily, still coming, you didn't get settled yet. Even if you might have been born in America, maybe you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you're still born, you're still not settled yet. This is not the Holy Land. This is not where we should be. We should be in the Holy Land of Israel with the Holy Temple being built. And the only way for that to happen, until Mashiach comes, if we want to, we have to learn Torah, study Torah, keep Torah, and that's what we have to do in order to stand up and not be influenced by the terrible ideas that they get as time goes on. They get more terrible than they were. We think we hit the bottom yet, and then worse things come out, worse anti-Torah laws come out. Even some of the non-Jews are fed up with it, with some of the things that are going on, the ideas going on in the schools and the public schools and with the teaching today, and being bombarded all over the media. And of course, we hope now that Hashem sent this president, and he stands up for much more decency, and even him not being a non-Jew, but he's standing for a lot of things that even the non-Jews are not supposed to be doing. So we have to realize Hashem is sending him. It's not he won the election, and the Republicans and the strategy and all kinds of things. But people going back and forth, and the Democrats how they didn't run the right race, and the Democrats ran a good race. That's all baloney. The main thing, Hashem is be charged. He makes the people come in charge, be the kings and presidents and so on. He's behind it. The Baruch Hashem, he saw to it that this president will come in, and hopefully Mr. Hashem will put things maybe in a way closer to Judaism. Naturally, it's not going to be total Judaism and total Judaism, but it'll be much closer to what we stand for. To make it easier for us to fight against what's wrong. So this, like I'm saying, is very much what Hashem wants us to learn the Torah. The Torah is very relevant. Some people say Hashem gave the Torah 3,000 years ago. Well, is it relevant today? Yes, very relevant. This first few psukim were very relevant to all Jews around the world, including Jews in Israel. We want to be boim. We want to be coming. We're not settled. We're not rooted in the place that we're living. We're just temporarily, even though we might be for many years. We're born there and so on, but it's only temporary. This is not what we want to have for our future. We want to be a future have a holy life, a life of Torah, of studying of Torah, of keeping the laws of Torah. That's why Hashem created the world, created us, the Jewish people. The fact we're in exile now, we're out of our land, is a tragic thing, and for Jewish people, it's a calamity. It's a most tragic thing that happened to the Jewish people. Naturally, that we're not on our land and not with the Holy Temple. And this is what we have to think about. And we have to realize that we are in the danger of becoming influenced from our neighbors and friends and business people and the society we live in, because that's a natural thing. We mentioned the Rambam many times, when the words of the Rambam, that God created man to be influenced by his friends and his neighbors, the people he associates with. And we're in danger of that happening, because all around us, when people have anti-Torah ideas that we're being hearing about all the time, singing about all the time. And Hashem wants it to be a holy nation. What does it mean, a holy nation? Holy means away from physical and mundane earthly desires that people have. That's being holy. We're closer to God, who does not have even earthly, physical, and desires that people have. He's above that. He's called holy. He's away from all these things that people are running after, whether it's food, whether it's person's relationship with men and female, whether it's the way we talk, the way we think, the way we do. We have laws governing everything about us. And the more we keep those laws, the more we become holy, means closer to Hashem. We're away from this earthly world that people are trying to, people around us are trying to get the most of money and pleasures and of life, which are very temporary. A person is born, he dies, he doesn't take these things with him. We take with us the things, the holiness that Hashem gave us, laws of the Torah, which govern our desires. We can't eat everything that we want, and we can't say everything that we want, and we think everything we want, and we can't have personal relationships the way we want. We are governed by Hashem's laws. And ultimately, by being close to Hashem, That is the biggest pleasure. Bigger pleasure than the most inviting and super type of pleasure that we can think about in this world. The person try to think about it. What's the super most pleasurable thing I can think of? Even though it sounds so great and so wonderful and it feels so good, it doesn't compare to the pleasure that we'll have for being close to Hashem, because He's the root and the source of all goodness, of all pleasure. And by our neshama that we have, that will connect with Hashem, the world to come, that will overwhelmingly have much more pleasure than the most pleasurable thing in this world, the physical pleasure that we can have. Even in this world, we can feel it. If a person who keeps the Torah, you're connecting to Hashem, and the Neshamas are connected to Hashem. The person who keeps the Shabbos, everybody keeps the Shabbos, what a wonderful feeling it is, because we're connected to Hashem on Shabbos. And every time we do a mitzvah, we get up to pray to Hashem. If we think about it, if we just don't think about other things, we think about, I'm praying to Hashem, is listening to me. It will be such a wonderful feeling of pleasure, a person to have doing a mitzvah of helping somebody out, or any mitzvah in the Torah. If we realize that we're doing it for Hashem's sake, if we connect to Hashem, even in this world, we can feel it to a certain extent. But in the world to come, after a person dies, a person who lived the Torah life, the pleasure that he'll have will be overwhelming pleasure, much more than any pleasure that people think they're having by not doing the laws of the Torah. So that's what holiness is. Holiness means away from desires, physical, mundane, earthly desires people have, and being connecting to Hashem. And that is what holiness is. Hashem is holy, and that's why the Holy Temple was called holy, because that's where Hashem, so to speak, lives in the Holy Temple that was standing. And therefore, they brought sacrifices to Hashem, that they slaughtered animals representing people, bodies of people, showing that the body of a person is not the main thing. We slaughter it to Hashem, but then we burn it on the fire as an offering to Hashem, to show Hashem. We realize this world is not a world of bodies, of physical enjoyment. That's not the purpose, and that's not the main part of a person. A main person is our soul, which connects to Hashem. So this is the lesson where we'll start. Hopefully everybody listening will be in Shul the Shabbos, go to the Beis HaKnesses, go to the synagogue, and hear the words of the Torah. They'll get up to read the Torah, starting the second book. It'll be a good time to start. People don't go to Shul. This Shabbos go to Shul. Hope it's an Orthodox Shul. And they will hear the words of the Torah, the first psukim of number 2 book, Exodus of the Torah. These are the names of the children of Israel, Yisrael, Haboy Mitzrayim, Yisrael, the Jews that stand up for its right, the strong, and they fight against evil. And the boy, and they're coming. They're not settled in the land we live in. We're not settled. We're just here because with the gracious, we're very appreciative of the country we live in, that we can keep the Torah. We don't like old times in different places. We can't keep the Torah. Baruch Hashem, this time we could keep the Torah, and we're Baruch Hashem able to live here, keep the Torah. But we don't want to get settled. We don't want to be part of this society. We don't want to be and swallowed up by the non-Jewish ideas and identity. Haboim and Es Yaakov is bold. Don't want to be the ones who are under the name of Yaakov, that don't stand up for its right. They do things roundabout, and they are settled. They came right to hear it, part of it. We don't want to be part of it. We want to be part of Hashem. Be a holy nation. Hashem's, you're a holy nation. You're my nation, Hashem's. You're a holy nation. Be holy. I'm holy. I want you to be close to me, and imitate me, Hashem says, and do the things that will make you close to me, and you'll be a holy and happy and very satisfied people in this world and the world to come.